I was surprised I was gonna, you know. Was, oh my. Morning, how are you? Good, how are you? Good.
Like stay in your car, like pull your guns out, but.
And you just have to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not a bar, you don't have like a night. It's just a bar, like yes, like theoretically, like, you know, you could just strong crowd, like, whack you in the head with it, you could, you know, maybe, but. I don't know, like I get they're not treated as people, but like,
I started
It's halfway between daily. Yeah, I got 43 Joe, it's kind of big too.
I know.
All right, caller. Hey, good, how are you doing?
Yeah.
Plugging away?
yes. So, it's a good show, like, it's nice to know what actually happened. I mean, there's those people like messing a little bit.
This is the story. Which one of those guys on the other side?
I thought it was.
I'll go with the glass.
Yeah, that's what it is. So when it's public, it's a window seat. Then all the rest after this, but all I can yes, that's right. I thought I'd done that, but I didn't see one. Yeah, right now, I'm of course. Yeah, but when you go to the venue, yeah, unless you're using it daily, then it's they'll probably give it to us. Usually it's daily, it's just, yeah, you're really using it.
Well, it was.
We don't have like, yeah.
He's just snapping pictures of himself.
Yeah. Don't for every guy wants to use it. Some guys will use it. Majority guys can't. We don't have we don't have you don't have like
Victor, could you run it now so we can just get you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yes, I mean, that's right, yeah.
It actually works pretty bad.
They're supposed to have the support for us.
Yeah, I think
I'm not
You
using
need
it.
it, Dave?
Because we actually use our phone, but they're.
But those are important, like, I don't think this is.
The quality is so delayed.
You can't use that.
So you send HD back.
5-minute warning. Are you guys all good with your wait? Are you good with this?
Yeah, I'm good.
You're good too? Yeah. These are your notes.
Hey, it's Victor from Program. How are you? Did you need it for the conference? Goodness, it's a what the this? Oh, so you need it for the conference? What? With the pen?
I'll give it right back to
Oh.
you.
Hey, how's it going? How's it going? Yeah, okay, awesome. And audio's okay too? Excellent. Well, that was incredible. Yeah, okay, no problem. Okay, thanks.
Two-minute warning. One minute. Thirty seconds. Ten seconds. Good morning. I'm Police Constable Sarah Diamond. I'm here this morning to introduce Detective Sergeant Brian Borg, who's joined by Superintendent Ron Tavener, and they'll be providing an update on the homicide death of Nico Mitchell. Steph?
Good morning. I'm here with Superintendent Ron Tavener, who's the unit commander of 23 Division, and I'm here to provide an update on homicide number 53 for 2013, the murder of Nico Mitchell. As well, I will also be releasing photographs, which are on the screen to my right, of 3 persons, 2 males and 1 female, who have not been identified through the course of our investigation and who are believed to be either directly or indirectly involved in Nico Mitchell's murder. Superintendent Tavener can also speak more specifically to policing issues surrounding his division as well as community and safety concerns arising from this particular incident. On Sunday, November 24th, 2013 at 8:11 p.m., a number of 911 calls were received for shots fired in the area of the North Kipling Community Center at 2 Roundtree Road, which is located just off of Kipling Avenue between Finch and Steeles Avenue West. Within minutes, officers from 23 Division converged on the scene and located a large number of citizens standing over Nico Mitchell. Some were providing immediate first aid to save Nico's life. Nico was transported by emergency run to hospital, even though for all intent and purpose he was already dead at the scene. This has been confirmed through post-mortem examination. In fact, Nico Mitchell had been shot several times and never had any chance of survival. The North Kipling Community Center is operated by the City of Toronto for use by members of the community where it sits. Like any community, it's a bedrock where people gather to enjoy themselves and to participate in community events. At the time of Nico's murder, there was a basketball tournament that was taking place at this location. This basketball tournament, known as Jamrock 9, had just started that evening, so it was the first day of the event, and it was to continue every Sunday night until Sunday, December 29th. 8 basketball teams were involved in that tournament, which had 4 scheduled games starting at 6:30 and ending at 10:30. It's my understanding now, as a result of this event, that that tournament has been suspended. There were many people at that basketball tournament that night and who were present when Nico Mitchell was shot and killed. Very few of them have come forward to the police. In fact, Nico Mitchell himself was attending this basketball tournament because a member of his immediate family was participating in that event. As far as I'm aware, that was the only reason for Nico being there that night. Many of you are aware from reporting that has been done in this homicide that there is at the North Kipling Community Center a large number of closed-circuit surveillance cameras both inside and outside. In fact, it's my understanding that they were placed there by the City of Toronto some time ago after another homicide occurred within that community center. Our investigation has determined that within minutes of Nico Mitchell arriving, he was shot and killed. In terms of this video surveillance, it has been reviewed in detail by members of the Homicide Squad and by members of 23 Division, and has been extremely helpful in establishing what occurred at that location before, during, and after Nico's murder. I will not be providing specific details about what it shows, other than releasing some surveillance photographs of 3 individuals who arrived at the community center together and who are believed to be involved in Nico Mitchell's murder. Clearly, almost 11 days have passed since Nico's murder, and investigative efforts so far have not been able to definitively identify who these 3 persons are who are considered as suspects in the murder of Nico Mitchell. It is extremely important that police identify these 3 individuals immediately. As a result, I am releasing these photographic images taken from surveillance cameras that night in the hopes that members of the public who believe they may know or who are familiar with any of these individuals to call the police and provide that information. I would like to talk a little bit more about surveillance video, both in general and specific to this case now. There's a common misconception that when police have a crime captured on surveillance or any other type of video, that they have everything that they need to both solve and prosecute a case. I've heard this in many investigations, including this one. People simply say, "Why do you need me? You have it all on video." The answer is this. Video evidence, and let's be clear about this, video evidence, although extremely important and helpful in both police investigations and in criminal prosecutions, it is not and never will be all that is required to prove the guilt or innocence of a person or persons. It simply doesn't tell the whole story. If that were the case, lawyers would simply play it for a judge or a jury and let them decide based on what they see. So let me be clear about this. Video evidence will never replace the importance of human witnesses who see a crime occur and then report what they see to the police and to the courts. And it's with that in mind that I make this appeal to the public. In Nico Mitchell's murder, there have only been a small handful of people who have provided information to the police, regardless of the fact that the video shows that there were many eyewitnesses who were there that night and saw what occurred. I am appealing to those people who were at the North Kipling Community Center when Nico Mitchell was shot, or any other people who have any other information that they believe might be helpful, to call the Homicide Squad or 23 Division and provide that information. As well, I am also appealing to anyone viewing these photographs being released today to contact police or Crime Stoppers immediately. Crime Stoppers can be reached at 416-222-TIPS or at www.crimestoppers.com. In considering whether to call, I'd like you to think about this. Nico Mitchell was shot numerous times with a high-velocity ammunition, none of which remained in his body. Considering that there were a number of people standing in the immediate area of the shooting, we are very fortunate that no one else was shot. As well, video shows a man and a young toddler standing within feet of where the shooting occurred. And finally, as Superintendent Taverner will allude to after I finish speaking, since this event, the North Kipling Community Center, for all intent and purpose, has been left vacant. Nobody wants to take their children. Nobody wants to go there themselves as a result of what happened that night. So I would again make that appeal to the public that if they have any information that will assist us in identifying those persons responsible for Nico Mitchell's murder, to call the police or to call Crime Stoppers. Superintendent?
Thank you, Brian. As Brian has indicated, the community center is a lot less busy after this homicide than it is now. And we're appealing to people to come forward and help us solve this crime so that we can get back to the business of people enjoying what they should be able to enjoy in the community. We've stepped up police resources in the area. We have constant officer patrols in the area, foot patrols. We've had mounted officers to try and reassure the public. But in this particular investigation, as Brian has indicated, we need to have that information come forward. Numerous people were in that building and potentially witnessed what happened on that day, November the 24th. So again, please come forward, call Crime Stoppers if you wish, but give us the information that you may have. There's a number of community meetings taking place with community members in that area to try and help them to deal with the situation, for us to have them some comfort level that we intend to make that area safe for them to enjoy the community center and go about their normal activities and business. So again, really is an appeal for people to come forward and to help solve this crime. Thank you. And I think we're willing to take some questions if you like.
Does it surprise you that you aren't getting that much cooperation from the community?
No, certainly, we would hope that we would get cooperation from the community. It is their community. These people are there enjoying the community center, and they have a vested interest in making that community safe. But there definitely is some fear in the community of some type of retaliation possibly, or something like that. But our focus is to solve this crime, certainly protect the people that come forward, and make people feel safe. And that's what we intend to do at the community meetings we're having in the community, to share that sense of making the community safe.
Detective Sargent, could you give us an idea of what role you think each of these individuals played? Who may have been the shooter, and how were the other two involved?
So at this point, I've already identified them for you as suspects, and I won't go beyond that at this particular point. I think to do so, and at the very same time, be making this appeal for people to come forward and tell us what they saw, that's just something I'm just not prepared to do at this time. Obviously, this is a big step for us to make, just to identify the photographs and ask people to provide that information. And then the rest of the information that they provide, we'd like to have them provide it without knowing exactly what the roles of these three people are.
So were they targeting Nico? Did they go right up to him? Can you tell us anything along? Was he standing outside? Did they drive up and go right up to him?
What I will tell you at this point is that there's absolutely no doubt that this is a targeted shooting, and that Nico Mitchell was the target of that shooting.
Was he known to police?
Nico Mitchell does not have a criminal record. He is known to the police, but has no criminal record.
Why do you think he would be targeted? Was he involved in something that perhaps hadn't given him a criminal record yet?
Well, I would suggest he probably was, and of course, that's information that we'd like to get from people. Certainly, we're looking at all of the information we have available to us, but that doesn't preclude that Nico Mitchell was killed for a reason that we're not aware of.
Does this have anything to do with turf, or being at the basketball game, or anything of that sort?
I would suggest it probably doesn't have anything to do with him being at the basketball game. Whether this has to do with turf or gangs at this point is certainly something we're looking at. I wouldn't preclude any of those possibilities.
Was there an altercation in the parking lot or outside the community center where this happened that led to this?
There was absolutely nothing that occurred that night prior to the shooting of Nico Mitchell, no. Nothing that occurred there that night at all.
Do you know if the suspects arrived there in a car, or did they walk? Were they on foot?
There were many cars in the parking lot that night. It's, again, something that I'm not going to get particularly into, but it's very possible that they did arrive in a car that night, yes.
Well, we heard he was standing outside and a car pulled up and then he was shot. Is that true?
Nico Mitchell was not in the community center when he was shot. He was shot outside the front doors. There were vehicles in the immediate area where he was shot. I don't believe that those cars are involved in his shooting.
Was he shot in the head?
I'm not going to get into specific details. I mean, obviously, it was a life-ending event. He was shot numerous times, and you know, as I've already indicated, Nico Mitchell didn't have a chance of surviving that night.
You said that none of the bullets remained in him, none of the ammo remained in him?
That's right.
So you're not entirely sure what type of gun was used?
Well, I'm going to suggest it was a handgun, but in my experience, I mean, usually when a person is shot multiple times, you usually find something in a person's body that's very suggestive, in my opinion, of ammunition, which was either a very high quality or high velocity, and obviously, you know, went through his body, left his body, and could have very easily struck somebody else.
What kind of people would have this?
I can't answer that. Obviously, I mean, it's available for, anything's available for a price.
Have you spoken with the Mitchell's family?
I have.
Have they provided any background on why he would have been targeted?
Well, I can tell you that just like us, they're looking for those answers themselves at this point.
These three suspects, it looks like all of those photos are taken from inside the community center?
That's correct.
So after the shooting, did they go inside and hang out? What were they doing?
I'm not going to get specific, as I said, in terms of, yeah, I think I've already said to you that they arrived at the community center, so you can take from that that they were at the community center for a period of time prior to the shooting, these three particular individuals. Then the shooting occurred, and obviously they left after that.
Do you think they were scouting it out, going and seeing if Mitchell was there?
Again, I don't know the answer to that question, and it's a question I'd rather have answered by people who were there that night.
Do you think that when those photos were taken, those people knew that they wanted to kill Nico Mitchell, or someone wanted Nico Mitchell killed?
I would say so.
Do you think he was lured there?
No. Nico Mitchell went there that night to see his brother play basketball.
How much of the actual event, the actual shooting and the murder, have security cameras caught?
A significant amount. I won't say beyond that.
Did someone try and like perform first aid on him afterward, or was he just gone and you just knew that he was gone?
No, there were people who were inside the community center who were concerned enough that before emergency medical services arrived, they covered him up. They tried to help him as best they can. And obviously, you know, for reasons beyond their control, they weren't able to do anything to help him. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you.
That concludes today's conference. Thank you.